It's been what they call a historic event.
We are now all rooting for his success in uniting and leading the country.
Let us not grow weary, let us not lose heart, for there are more seasons to come, and there is more work to do.
It's a movement comprised of Americans from all races,
religions, for men and women, for immigrants, for LGBT people, and people with disabilities.
We're not Democrats first, we're not Republicans first, we are Americans first.
Good evening and welcome to this special election edition of Newscene. I'm Gabe Salazar.
And I'm Luzelia Caballero. Now, needless to say, this has been quite a historical race.
She congratulated us, it's about us, on our victory.
But wait, let's start by taking you back to how the voting process began.
Hey guys, it's Marabe. I'm going to take you on a trip to show you how the process of this voting happens. So usually about a month before elections happens, you get a little pamphlet like these that show you what your measures, your props, and your presidential candidates are. After that, you can either mail in your ballot or go into your assigned polling location. If you don't know which of the 1,552 locations you're assigned to, voters can always check with the registrar's office. When the clock strikes 8 p.m., the doors are closed and voting is ended. Once all polling locations collect the ballots, they bring them to the registrar's office to be counted. We have Michael Vu, the actual registrar, here to explain how the machines do the counting. I see them putting in the paper, but what's the receipt that comes out?
So what you have is that every single one of these scanners have to print out a zero report first. That ensures that there are no ballots cast on those memory cards. Then once that occurs, then they can start feeding the ballots through the scanners, and then it's picking up all the votes that voters had voted upon, and then they have to print out the results of what they scanned in.
Over 8,000 workers have been a part of this critical process that didn't end till roughly 4 a.m. Wednesday morning, and for some tight races, it's not over yet. Those winners won't be announced till another 30 days. For Newscene, I'm Marabe.
And there you have it. If you've ever wondered what happens with your ballot once that paper leaves your hand, now you know.
I never realized that so much work goes into the entire process. And voters in Camp Pendleton have been having a tough time the last couple of elections. According to the Public Relations Office of Camp Pendleton, service members and their families are told to go to the San Diego Registrar's Office to cast their vote. That means that anyone not mailing in their ballots must make almost an hour-long drive to let their voice be heard.
We've had to come down here since 2003 to the registrar because we don't have a polling place up at Camp Pendleton, so we have to vote down here at the registrar every year.
Although many are unhappy about it, voters will still make the drive to cast their ballot. There is no news whether or not the next election will have polls closer to Pendleton.
And more difficulties at the voting polls. Open gunshots in a quiet Azusa neighborhood leave 1 dead, 2 critically injured, and hundreds scrambling to find alternative polling stations. Police say the suspect was described as a cocaine-fueled gun fanatic. After he was approached by the cops, he fled to a nearby home where he engaged in a gun battle and was killed. The gunfire forced authorities to secure the neighborhood and close nearby polling places. The former Marine was carrying an assault rifle and had a stockpile of ammunition in his home. Police have yet to confirm the motive behind the shooting, but they do know that the gunman was under the influence of cocaine at the time.
And Golden Hall is known for being home to Broadway shows and concerts, but on Tuesday night it was Election Central.
Emotions on the floor were at an all-time high. Voters came to Golden Hall to witness the spectacle of election night. Some even dressed to impress.
We're here at Golden Hall, Election Central. Decision 2016, people are still trickling in, but let's take a look at behind the scenes, the sights and sound, and the magic of election night.
Also part of the crowds were families and children.
We just decided to help our children understand the process and be part of the process, but also give a positive message to let them show that it doesn't have to be a negative, campaign, that we can all get together as a as a family and, be part of the democratic process.
Supporters from both parties came in full, voicing why their candidates should be the next president of the United States.
Voting for Hillary because I think it will be a smooth transition from our previous president. I think she has all the core values to help most of the people in this nation.
Trump, that's the main one I'm voting for, and of course we have all the other issues, but yeah, Trump is important for the country that he wins.
Tell me why.
Because he's an outsider. Clinton has a track record of scandals and corruption, and I don't know why the Democrats support her so much, because everybody and their brother wants less corruption. We know we have it, and so I don't know why they're supporting her.
No matter who they voted for, their passion and ideals were clear. It came down to the wire on election night. Voters were on the edge of their seats and their eyes glued to the screen. But no matter who won, Golden Hall was one of the many places where the magic of Decision 2016 happened. Billy Kang, Newscene.
San Diego voters came to Golden Hall to see the final results as well as witness the patriotic and electoral atmosphere.
And Democrats were displaying their support at the Democratic headquarters in downtown. Here are some of the highlights.
From first-time voters to families out to celebrate, Democrats came out showing their spirit before the election's results were announced.
Have you voted before?
No, this is my first time actually voting in a presidential election, and it's really exciting because as I'm seeing results come in, it's cool to know that I've been a part of that and participated in the process. It's something that I'm really honored to be a part of. I've been a Hillary supporter since the beginning. As soon as she announced her candidacy, I found the shirt online, and I thought I had to have it because it's unique, and I think this campaign is a little unique, so I think it matches the whole campaign spirit.
I wore my white pantsuit, and I made my White House hat.
It's very exciting to me to have the first woman president when not even 100 years ago women didn't even have the right to vote.
What made you bring Donald Trump Pinata to the convention?
I thought it would be fun to beat him up after the results, no matter what they are. And in case you don't ask me, he's full of dum-dums and Sour Patch candy.
We even saw some young Democrats in training.
For Newscene, I'm Maria Fani.
Adding to the excitement, songs by Katy Perry and other empowering women artists were playing throughout the night.
And Republican candidate and now President-elect Donald Trump may have received a lot of media attention towards his comments on women, but that didn't stop female voters from showing their support. Throughout his campaign, several women came forward stating Trump made derogatory comments about them. The situation seemed to worsen when the leak of his infamous conversation with TV host Billy Bush. But on election night, Republican women attended the party's headquarters event and only had positive things to say.
I know that every man says comments. We all make mistakes, and I know that a lot of them were taken out of context. I've met him as a person who was always very respectful.
Some women were even brought to tears when Trump was announced president.
It's safe to say those women had a great time celebrating Trump's win. Moving from avid Trump supporters to the Democratic headquarters, Maria Fani shows how the night unfolded.
Kristen Gaslamp on election eve, keeping a close eye on the local and national races.
No, we are ready for tonight. We're really excited for tonight with Democrats from Hillary Clinton and Senator Kamala Harris on down to, we have 120 endorsed Democratic candidates, and we expect to do very well throughout the county.
The results were coming one by one, and supporters were sharing their feelings.
I'm looking forward to this lady right here winning the presidency.
Yeah, it's a lot closer than I would like, but it's okay. I'm feeling confident, anxious but confident. Still early.
Together. Positive vibes.
Yeah,
there you go.
Still early.
As the night progressed and votes were being tallied, the mood and response of the crowd quickly shifted.
The unthinkable is happening tonight, and I saw it coming because Midwestern Democrats don't have a stomach for a female president, and I regret telling you this, but it's the truth. I'm from Milwaukee, and I have a pretty good idea of how they vote in the Midwest.
Well, as far as San Diego goes, we're feeling very good. As far as the nation goes, I'm really concerned. I've never felt that Donald Trump was capable, competent, knowledgeable, skilled, or having the temperament to be the president of the most powerful country in the world.
For Newscene, I'm Maria Fani.
Many were in disbelief despite having a great turnout, and the night ended earlier than expected.
It was a close election night with Trump winning the presidency after Clinton conceded. Newscene was at the Republican headquarters in San Diego to bring you all the details.
Republican voters gathered at the U.S. Grant Hotel to support their party and watch the polls. Only taking their eyes away from the TVs for one brief moment.
As your mayor, I'm so proud of the work that all of us are doing together.
While plenty of seasoned Republican supporters attended the event, young Republicans also made a large presence in the crowd.
I haven't been to an election night party yet. I've been to, plenty of events with different candidates and different people and with the media and everything, but I haven't been to an actual election night party for the Republican Party, so excited.
I used to work for a congressman up in Solana Beach, Brian Bilbray, back in 2011, 2012, and I stayed close with the community guys that work on campaigns and candidates and come out and show us support for all down.
While most were here to support the Republican Party and Trump for president, a few attendees were hoping for a different election result.
I'm really hoping that Hillary gets some more votes. I'm a huge Hillary supporter, so I'm hoping that she wins the electoral votes to pull through in the election.
I am supportive of Hillary Clinton. I am a bit nervous, but right now it's still very early. We still have a lot of states that have not closed their election polls, so we're just hoping for the best right now.
At the end of the night, only one party could celebrate a victory.
It's an unbelievable result. It's just, I can't believe it. It's definitely worth it to be here. See all the support that we have here in San Diego. It's just incredible.
For Newscene, I'm SCHLYER.
We apologize for the audio levels there, but while Trump won the electoral vote, if you look at the votes made by 18 to 25-year-olds, Hillary Clinton would have won the election in a landslide with 504 electoral votes to 23.
And with the election coming to an end and the final results being announced, Hillary Clinton speaks to her supporters during the election result party in New York. Here are a few of the key highlights from her speech.
I know how disappointed you feel because I feel it too. Our campaign was never about one person or even one election. It was about the country we love and about building an America that's hopeful, inclusive, and big-hearted. To all the little girls who are watching this, never doubt that you are valuable and powerful and deserving of every chance and opportunity in the world. This loss hurts, but please never stop believing that fighting for what's right is worth it.
And just miles away at the New York Hilton Midtown, Donald Trump was getting ready to address his supporters about his victory.
I look very much forward to being your president. Working together, we will begin the urgent task of rebuilding our nation and renewing the American dream. We have a great economic plan. We will double our growth and have the strongest economy anywhere in the world. Now it's time for America to bind the wounds of division. And I promise you that I will not let you down. We will do a great job.
While both candidates have different political agendas and ideals for the government, there was one thing they could agree on. America needs to pull together and unite rather than divide because of our differences.
And coming up after the break, we've all seen the many reactions from Americans of our new president, but what does the rest of the world think?
And see the impact that the election results had on the San Diego community. All coming up.
Hi, I'm Melissa Duenas, and I'm the founder of the East Side Story Project. For the past year now, I have been dedicated to researching the narratives behind this iconic album series. The songs on these albums hold a special place in my heart, because like many of you, lowrider oldies are a cherished part of my upbringing. As the albums continue to be enjoyed by generations, it amazes me that the history of such an iconic series has remained a mystery. I know I'm not the only one that has ever wondered what the people on the covers would share with us if they could speak. A year ago, I set out to find just that, and as a result, I have had the pleasure of speaking with several families on the cover, and have even had the opportunity to speak with the East Side Story creator. Most recently, I've partnered with filmmaker Gloria Moran. She's going to help me take this project to the next level as a documentary web series.
Our goal is to intimately share the surrounding histories of the East Side Story albums.
We cannot do this without your help.
Your funds will help kickstart this project into production for at least 2 episodes.
Please help us spread the word on social media, or even more importantly, word of mouth. Thank you.
Welcome back to Newscene. Now, Donald Trump is getting familiar with his new surroundings at the White House. On Thursday, Trump met with Obama in the Oval Office to discuss the transition between presidents. Obama said that while it is no secret that they have some pretty significant differences, he has instructed aides to follow the example that President Bush's team set 8 years ago and work as hard as we can to make sure that this is a successful transition for the president-elect. While Obama and Trump spoke in the Oval Office, First Lady Michelle Obama gave a tour of the residence to Melania Trump. The Trump team is also putting together possible picks for the cabinet and White House staff.
With Donald Trump now elected as president, he will eventually have executive order power. This is something that is on the minds of everyone as he talks about using the power to build a wall along Mexico. An executive order gives the power to the president to bypass Congress and enforces order to take action immediately.
Now, the stock market took a plunge after Donald Trump was elected president. Early on Wednesday morning, the market dropped 800 points, and according to officials, it was due to fear of economic uncertainty because of Trump's presidency. However, just this morning, the market soared back up 257 points. The rise is attributed to President Obama's speech after meeting with Trump.
The results sent shockwaves around the world. John Sanders captured some of the emotions of various world leaders.
People overseas, there are exceptions, but many people around the world thought that, were hoping that Hillary would win.
Facing a new reality is the fact that everyone around the world had to wake up to Wednesday morning, November 9th.
Shock and awe isn't exactly how I'd put it. I'd say I'm very tired, having been up all night, and I think this clearly, these elections always have surprises on them. I think this one was a very big surprise. I don't think the...
Is Donald Trump president?
He will become the president of the United States.
Ja. Oh nein, wie schrecklich! Das ist furchtbar.
The US commitment to NATO and to European security has been rock solid for almost 70 years, and I'm absolutely certain that that will also be the case after these elections.
But I would like to congratulate President Trump.
Well, I don't fear. I think a healthy and positive China-US relationship is so critical, especially in this century.
President-elect Trump, my friend, congratulations on being elected President of the United States of America.
I'd like to congratulate the American people with the end of the election cycle. I also want to congratulate Mr. Donald Trump with his victory in these elections.
What we have to do is deal with him now and deal with the trading issue and the wall issue.
As President of the European Parliament, I congratulate the newly elected President of the United States, Donald Trump.
Of course, Mexico will never pay for that wall.
With City Newscene, I'm John Sanders.
Guess we will have to wait and see how President-elect Donald Trump will address these issues.
Now, months prior to the presidential election, the number of Google searches for, quote, how to immigrate to Canada were trending. But what happened on election night is even more surprising. Not only did stocks crash in the U.S., but the Canadian immigration website did as well. Around 10:30 Eastern Time on Tuesday, the website went down. For those that are still interested, it is now up and running.
And as candidates awaited the final election results, many reflected on the possible changes that would come with each candidate. A man at the Democratic headquarters expressed his concern about job security.
Canadian. A lot of my work is in New York. So if Trump wins, I'm sort of worried that he might start shutting down the borders, right?
So we have good Canadian work that may not be happening in the U.S.
Donald Trump is known for wanting to build a Great Wall along the Mexico-U.S. border. Now, America will have to wait and see what the immigration and border protocol will be once Donald Trump is formally inaugurated into office.
And Civil Rights Movement Chapter President Reverend Shane Harris was at the Democratic Party headquarters on election night and was not thrilled as the results poured in. He voiced his concerns about it as a young man and as a civil rights movement leader.
Concerned about what the national scene is going to look like. Donald Trump is in the lead right now in the presidential race. That's crazy. It's just, it never would have been thought of. And I can't imagine right now what Hillary Clinton is feeling. And I'm shocked right now to see this as a young man coming up. It really concerns me about where we're going as a nation. But I think as a civil rights leader, I'm even more concerned because everything we fought for in civil rights, Barack Obama has supported.
He plans to hold an immediate meeting following the results.
And chaos is breaking out in California and Arizona following a protest and walkout by students at several high schools and universities. They are angry all over the outcome of the presidential election. Thousands of students walk out and some classes have even been canceled due to the results. Some schools that have voiced their opinions through protests have been UCLA and UC Berkeley. No word yet on when these protests will come to an end. One thing that remains certain is that these students are not happy with the election results.
And here at home, an anti-Trump protest spilled into the streets overnight at UCSD in La Jolla after receiving Trump's presidential win early Wednesday morning. An estimated 500 students walked through campus and onto the on-ramp of Interstate 5. Multiple videos were posted on social media, as you saw in the video, with students chanting profanities and, quote, "No Donald Trump."
City students were outraged after Donald Trump was named president. Sandra Juarez has more on the protests that occurred earlier this week.
With Donald Trump being named president on Wednesday, many students here at City College were overcome with anger, hurt, and devastation. It started with a Facebook post, and in a matter of hours, a protest was organized in front of the AMS building on Wednesday.
It's time to be upset and it's time to be angry, but you really need to get organized. All these students need to come together to resist this, because what's coming is an onslaught of oppression and they need to be ready to fight it.
Spearheaded by the socialist student government, the protest had students and professors expressing their worries on the outcome and why Trump isn't fit to be president.
We have to continue the fight.
We got a guy, a fascist, placed in power yesterday to crush out the power of the people.
I'm scared and I'm angry.
With students not looking forward for the new year, President Obama addressed the nation about staying together as a nation.
We're not Democrats first, we're not Republicans first. We are Americans first. We're patriots first. We all want what's best for this country.
Some students are willing to change their mind given time.
It could change over time, but the thing is, there's such a huge hate factor to the whole party itself.
For Newscene, I'm Sandra Juarez.
With growing uncertainty of a Trump presidency, all we can do is wait and see how the story unfolds.
And over 500 people marched onto the streets of downtown San Diego last night to protest our new commander-in-chief. The group started at the corner of Broadway and Front Street, marching all through downtown well into the evening. Anti-Trump chants like "Love Trump's hate" and "This is what democracy looks like" were heard throughout the night. Many lined the streets as marchers passed by, but overall the protests remained peaceful.
The voters have spoken and it's not looking good for the Chargers. Find out what that means for San Diego.
And coming up, we'll break down the propositions that were approved and what this could mean for you.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Where were we?
And now looking into the local results, Republican Darrell Issa fought for survival in face of a firm challenge from Democrat Doug Applegate, with 35% of the precincts reporting Applegate was ahead by just a hair heading into the night. When the final tally came in, Applegate lost by a small margin. Issa has been a U.S. House of Representative member for 16 years, during which the 48th district he served in was renumbered and later became the 49th district. This presidential election has been one of the most divisive in recent history, with so many focus on who would become the president. It's good that people still were aware of some of the other issues on the ballot. Apologize for the technical difficulties, but Measure C has been a big-ticket item for Mayor Faulkner, who recently spoke at Republican headquarters. The measure did not pass Tuesday night, but Faulkner remained upbeat when addressing the public.
I think that we are a huge city. We should continue to grow. I think we need a stadium, and in addition to the convention center, a new convention center help keep Comic-Con and other events like that coming our way and getting some revenue.
And what will be the next step for San Diego and its football team? We will find out in the coming weeks and months.
And here are the propositions that were passed in California. Prop 55 was voted yes, supporting extending the personal income tax increases on incomes over $250,000. About 60% voted yes on this initiative. And Prop 58, which supports repealing the English in Public Schools initiative, allowing non-English languages to be used in educational instruction, has been approved. 72.44% of people voted yes to this initiative and 27.56% voted no. 62.8% voted yes to Prop 63, which supports prohibiting the possession of large-capacity ammunition magazines and requiring certain individuals to pass a background check in order to purchase ammunition. In early results, Prop 64 was voted yes, which legalizes recreational marijuana for adult use. The initiative also authorizes resentencing and destruction of records for prior marijuana convictions. And Prop 67, which bans certain plastic bags in grocery stores, was passed with just around 52% voting yes and 48% voting no.
And we thank you for tuning in to this special edition of Newscene. We will be sure to keep you updated with all the latest updates surrounding the election.
And we also want to say Happy Veterans Day to you all. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.